Right then guys, how's it going, and welcome back to another fantasy football video. Long time no see, international break at the minute, so I've not been making too many videos, or any videos to be honest. It's been a while. We've had a long time to look at our fantasy league teams over the last few weeks. I can't say I'm a massive fan of the international break, unfortunately, unless it's the Euros or the World Cup. The only way I see it is we're not getting to watch Champions League, we're not getting to watch Europa League, and we're not getting to watch Friday, Saturday, Sunday of Premier League football. But thankfully it is back this weekend, and as I say, we've got a chance now to make some changes. I've already made my changes. Did I do them too early, or did I do them at just the right time? I don't know, but I'll tell you about them. As always, let me know down below what you are doing with your team this week, and we'll take a quick look at our league as well. So this is my league, the Roobenstein League. If you haven't joined yet, be sure to do so. I'll put the code above my head up here. Be sure to jump in. You can see here I did not have a great week with a red arrow down to 175th place, 57 points. I think the average was 55, so I actually got over the average, but still got a red arrow, which isn't great, but it's not a huge red arrow. I think it was like 50 places or something, so it definitely could have been worse. It could have been better as well, so I'll tell you about what I did wrong with my team last week. But as always, let me know how you guys are doing in the league. If you're on the top page here, then well done to you. 86 points for Thunderstruck. Keep going up. 88 points for Coops 11. That is a good week. Top of the leaderboard is Klopp. 70 points this week. 573 overall. The Fantasy King Andrew, 88 points, up to second place. Forest FC. AJZ, I'm sorry mate, CF in fourth place, Jaden S down to fifth. Now I'm pretty sure Jaden was top of the board last week, so as I say, new league leader. Let's see what his team is. McCarthy in net, Chilwell, Lamptey, Robertson, Zaha, Salah, Grealish. Kane captain was a good one. Chilwell is becoming a very popular player, and we actually saw some clean sheets for a change. You know, McCarthy, Lamptey, a few other teams. So well done for you, mate, for being top of the league. Look, he's actually got Justin and Concert down on the bench with 6 points. If he had him in instead of Robertson, he could have got even more. I did something similar with my team, unfortunately, and we may as well take a look at that now. Here we go. As I say, 57 points. Obviously the international break, I've had a fair bit of time to reflect on this, and I'm pretty much over it by now, but I was quite disappointed. I've got Target on the bench who got 11 points. Meanwhile, Kilman and Aylin got 1 point between them. So I'm saying I had a bad week. Just if I'd had Target on the pitch, I think it would have been a good week. That would have been 68 points instead of Aylin. So yeah, a bit frustrated with that, but it was still nice that McCarthy and Masuaku got clean sheets. Grealish got an assist. Salah got himself a goal and a bonus, even against Man City. Sterling potentially injured. Wilson potentially injured. Calvert-Lewin 5 and Kane 18. So I think I did well to pick Kane as the captain. I didn't do well by putting Target on the bench, but that happens sometimes. You know, you can't predict the future. Aston Villa were playing Arsenal away. I thought Arsenal would get at least one, not lose 3-0. So there you go. As I say, that was my team. I have already made my changes. We'll go through them and maybe just generally a few thoughts on the upcoming week. So this is what my team is looking like right now. You might be able to spot the changes straight away. If not, I'll tell you. I've made 2 transfers already. I made them early. It was a good idea at the time. I'm hoping it still works out okay. I was lucky enough to have 2 transfers. The first one I made is I took Son out and put in Fernandes from Manchester United. Son, I bought him at 9 million. He went up to about 9.5, 9.6 million. So I got a bit of that extra money back and then put it in towards Fernandes. Son and Kane are two players a lot of people are looking to get out right now, and that is because, if you don't know, Spurs' fixtures are about to get very tough. Out of Kane and Son, I think Kane was potentially the one to keep. He's on penalties. His shots per game is higher. So I've kept Harry Kane. I've taken Son out. I just wanted to show you how Spurs' fixtures are actually lining up. So they've got to play Man City, Chelsea and Arsenal all in a row. Then Crystal Palace. And then Liverpool, Leicester, Wolves. I mean, that is a tough string of fixtures right there for Spurs. So that has been playing on my mind. I did think that having both Kane and Son in, you know, who knows? They were on flying form. They might come out and absolutely smash it in the next 6 games, or they might only pick up a few points. And this is the thing, I don't plan on captaining Son or Kane for any of those games. So even if Son does get 1 goal here, 1 goal there, I've swapped him to Fernandes from Manchester United, who has much better fixtures. West Brom, Southampton, West Ham, Man City, Sheffield United, Leeds. So, you know, that was the swap I did. And also, I'm actually looking to captain Fernandes against West Brom. So, on paper, I think it was a good transfer to make. The other transfer that I made was I took Wilson from Newcastle out and put Watkins in from Aston Villa. I was a lot more unsure about this one because Wilson's done pretty well so far, and I'm a Newcastle fan, and it was the only Newcastle player I had in this team, so I didn't want to just chuck him out. But he's potentially injured. They're actually hoping he'll be back in time for the Chelsea game, but he's still potentially injured. The fact that Newcastle are playing Chelsea as well is not going to be an easy game for him, and it hasn't happened yet. But his price is moving down. On the flip side, Watkins' price was moving up. I didn't say this, but Fernandes' pricing was already going up as well. So I managed to get both of these players in before they went up in price. Basically, when people are bringing them in, the price is going up. That's why I pretty much did it early. They were already transfers I was hoping to make or thinking about making, but because Son might go down, I don't think he has yet. Wilson looks like he's going to go down. Watkins and Fernandes have already gone up. I just did it early. If we take a quick look, to be fair, at Aston Villa's fixtures, and this is getting a lot of people excited. I mean, I thought they'd lost it when they lost against Leeds, but they've suddenly beaten Arsenal, and now Aston Villa have got Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Wolves, Burnley, West Brom, Crystal Palace. Aston Villa have got a fantastic run of fixtures coming up. And this is the thing with Newcastle, we've got Chelsea, but then Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, West Brom, Leeds, Fulham. Yeah, that's not too bad. So I've taken Wilson out maybe too early. Maybe it would have been worth just sticking with him for the Chelsea game. But I mean, who's going to do better? Watkins in those games or Wilson in these games? I think it could be pretty 50-50. The only thing I don't like, or the reason I would have maybe liked to have kept Wilson if he was definitely... If Wilson wasn't injured, I would have kept him regardless, I think. But I also not sure how happy I am that I have 3 Aston Villa players. One's a defender, one's a midfielder, one's a striker. So it's not like I've got 3 Aston Villa defenders and I need a clean sheet. But yeah, those were the transfers I made. Let me know what you think down below. The reason that I'm slightly unsure about them is now Salah has come into contact with you-know-what, and is, I believe, fine, but obviously he needs to do his isolation and everything like that. They reckon he's going to miss the Leicester game, but he could well be back for the game after. A lot of people are moving Salah out. I think Salah has gone down in price already as well. For me, I think in a way it's a good thing that it happened over the international break for the fantasy football users, because he's not going to miss 2 games, or I don't think he'll miss 2 games. I think he'll miss the game against Leicester, and then he'll be back in time for the game against Brighton. So, you know, if he was going to miss one, maybe that's not a bad one. Followed by Wolves, followed by Fulham. So it's a similar situation to me taking out Callum Wilson maybe a bit too quickly. Fair enough, he's going to miss the Chelsea game. But if he then comes back and plays Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, you know, maybe I should have kept him. It's a similar situation with Salah. If I throw him out now, especially when I paid 12 million for Salah, he was 12.4, he's gone down to 12.3. I'm going to have to take him out and then find that 0.3 million in a week's time, because I want to put him back in for the Brighton game. So as much as I don't like it, I think it's worth just sticking with him on the bench. 12 million on the bench is not very nice, but I think that's what I'm going to do this week. And then also, on a side note, Sterling's cropped up with a potential injury as well. 75% chance of playing. I mean, they're playing Spurs, so it's not an easy game regardless. But if I did have a transfer, I don't think swapping Sterling out to De Bruyne would be a bad one. They're the same price, and you know that De Bruyne is going to play. I think. De Bruyne's not injured, is he? I've not even checked that. Man City's fixtures. Spurs is tough, but then Burnley, Fulham, Man U's tough, West Brom, Southampton, Newcastle. So, again, I don't think Man City players were in a lot of people's thoughts over the last few weeks because of how well Spurs were doing. Everyone's just flooding in on Son and Kane. I think this is going to be a time now when we're seeing maybe Son and Kane dropping out of teams, people putting Sterling, De Bruyne back in, maybe even Jesus as an option. As long as Aguero is still injured, Jesus is a good option. It's when Aguero comes back and they've got to share the limelight is when it becomes an issue. Other than that, I think my team looks okay. I'm not overly convinced by the fact that I've got Southampton versus Wolves, hoping for a 0-0. Aston Villa against Brighton. Target got his clean sheet assist and a bonus last time out. The reason Alien is on the pitch against Arsenal is because he was the man I brought in for Salah. Do I expect Leeds to concede against Arsenal? Probably. But Aston Villa did beat them 3-0, so who knows. Grealish looking really good in the England games as well. He is becoming quite a popular pick. I think I did get him in back when he was 7 million and he's now up to 7.5. I mean, he had a great haul in game week 7. You know, he's one of these players who brings the big ones in. He got some great points against Liverpool. Did it again against Southampton in the very last minute. So hopefully with Aston Villa's good fixtures, he can be scoring goals, assisting Watkins to get some goals, and maybe Target will keep a clean sheet. I've put a lot of eggs in that Aston Villa basket, and yes, they do have some good fixtures, but it could easily go wrong as well. So, yeah, that is what I'm looking at. I can't make any more transfers unless I spend points. So as I say, because of the fact that even if I did take Salah out, to bring him back in, he's going to cost more. So I'm going to lose 4 points, and then I'm going to have to find 0.3 million from somewhere to afford Salah back. I think it's worth just waiting the week and then just praying that Sterling's fine. And if Sterling isn't fine, then maybe we'll look at switching him next week. But by the looks of things, he should be okay. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. Let me know what changes you're making to your team this week. I'm trying to think of a few extra bits to talk about. I mean, as I say, there's been quite a lot of transfer activity. Ziyech is a player that a lot of people are putting in. It's a player that I've looked at and thought about but decided not to go for. Will I regret it? Quite possibly. Chelsea's fixtures. Newcastle, I mean, that's fair. Tottenham, Leeds, Everton, Wolves, West Ham, Arsenal. I mean, it's not the shiny green fixtures that Villa have got, but I think it's still a decent run, and Chelsea are starting to kind of fit together a lot better now. One thing that I was actually hang on, I'll finish this off. Grealish, yeah, Chilwell. I just don't really put in expensive defenders. I know I did start the season with Alexander-Arnold, but since then I've been riding the 4.5 and even 4 million defenders. Kilman from Wolves has done me wonders at 4 million. Watkins up front, I'm on that list. I'm on the Fernandes list as well. Going out, Alexander-Arnold. I mean, Liverpool are having a bit of a mare at the minute. Defensively, is Gomez potentially injured as well? Van Dijk's injured. Matip's injured 1 minute, he's not the next. Alexander-Arnold with an orange. Salah going out, Ings is injured, and Luke's son is actually getting taken out by a lot of people as well. If we go back to my team, I was actually tempted, to even downgrade Kane and have a midfield of Salah, Sterling, Fernandes, Grealish, and Ziyech. It is doable, believe it or not. It would just mean I would only have 2 strikers though. And I actually would have the money in theory to have. I could have taken Kane out for Watkins, and had Wilson, Lewin, Calvert-Lewin, and Watkins up front, and then have a midfield of Grealish, Ziyech, Fernandes, Sterling, Salah. That was a possibility, but the problem is you can't play them all. You can only play 4 midfielders, 3 attackers, or 5 midfielders, 2 attackers. So at one point, I'd always need to have one of those decent players on the bench, and I don't think I can deal with the stress of knowing that Wilson's on the bench and he might grab a goal or someone might do this, but it's still an option. And I also have Phillips down on the bench for Liverpool. I mentioned him a few weeks ago. I literally just made him as a transfer for Mitchell from Crystal Palace, who's injured, who's also 4 million. So I thought, you know what, I think he was up to 4.2, so I actually made 0.1 million by switching Phillips in. And Liverpool have got so many defensive injuries, he might even get a game. So I could potentially even put him in instead of Aylan. Who knows? But yeah, that is where my team is. As I say, if you've got any questions, let me know down below. Let me know what you're doing with your team this week. I'm excited to have the Premier League football back. I've got to tell you. It is a lot more interesting at the weekend in lockdown when there's nowhere to go, when you've got some football to watch. So yeah, let me know what you're doing with your team. I'm getting really close to 20,000 subscribers, so if you are still watching this video at this point, 20 minutes in, and you did enjoy the video and you're not subscribed already, please do. Hopefully I can hit that 20,000 very soon. Alright, thanks for watching as always, and I'll catch you later.